Hi all! Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everybody. Well, once again, we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot of updates and some new information that recently came out. So let's just get through it and jump right in. And by the way, yes, lately I've been starting off with pictures of Kate. I just feel like it's a palate cleanser before we jump in. You know what I'm saying? As usual, she looks absolutely gorgeous in this photo. Gander at it for a minute, and then let's just jump in with both feet and go. Let's go. To start off this morning, I found this message from my follower who said she was subscribed to my channel and then all of a sudden she wasn't. I find that very interesting. Now, I've told you guys before that YouTube has assured us that there's not going to be anything underhanded happening, but I can only tell people to continually check and make sure you're still subscribed to my channel. All right, moving on. So in my last video, remember I pointed out about Spotify and how they're having to hire people to finish the podcast because Harry and Meghan didn't do anything? Well, T-Mac pointed out that she doesn't know why Spotify didn't just sue them for breach of contract to get their money back. Good point, and I'm sure there's something in the contract that says that, they get their money back, but Spotify apparently is enjoying the free publicity, and that apparently is what is happening. All right, moving on. This story caught my attention. It's saying that Meghan is fighting online trolls, and there's a U.S. rapper that wants to talk to Meghan about her online issues. And then the blind item came out saying that an A-list rapper wants to meet with Meghan, but Meghan won't meet with her. Okay? And everybody's like, who's the rapper? And then this tweet came out, Cardi B. Cardi B just won a defamation lawsuit against Tasha K, who is a YouTuber. Now, to be fair, Tasha K wrote some horrible things on YouTube. But we're not talking about lies that she was caught in or things like, like me and Taz and Murky Meg talk about. That's not what she did. She accused Cardi B of being on drugs. She accused her of having an STD. She accused her of selling her body, things like that. That stuff, I'm glad she sued and won because that is defamation. To be fair, I'm not sure why she wants to talk to Meghan Markle because Meghan Markle has not been accused of being a prostitute or using drugs or having an STD. Okay, whatever. Moving on. One of my followers named Gina Garner sent me a very interesting article. So I started looking at it, and apparently, according to this article, Meghan Markle is offering restaurants royal warrants. Well, and then you see a tweet like this, which makes you wonder if it is true, because apparently the LA restaurant then called the British consulate to inquire about royal warrants and how to get one. So if you're asking what a royal warrant is and how you get one, as you can see above, they're awarded to tradesmen like carpenters and engravers. Some are well-known companies and some are not. And only 2 hotels have received a royal warrant. There's never been a restaurant ever that's received a royal warrant, and it takes years to get one. You have to give like 5 years of service. And when I say service, it's providing goods and services to a member of the royal family. But you have to do that for a minimum of 5 years before you can even be considered to get a royal warrant. So with that said, I have absolutely no idea if this story is true or not. All right, moving on. Do you guys remember when I did this story? I had been told by a follower that The Cultural Landscape, which is a book being used, was rewriting history about Meghan Markle. But I wasn't going to download the book because it was very expensive. Well, one of my followers who asked to remain anonymous did download the book. And thank her for spending that money. But anyway, she sent me the relevant pages, which clearly have the information about Meghan Markle on them. And look closely. The passage in the book clearly says that she got citizenship of the UK, which we all know is incorrect. The book also says that she's half black, half white, which is also incorrect. And before we delve into that, let me say thank you to another follower of mine who also downloaded the page, the relevant information, and sent it to me, as you can see above. For those wondering how Megan's description of her color could be incorrect, very simple. Doria Ragland, Megan's mother, had an African-American father and a white mother. She then had Megan with Thomas Markle, who's white. Therefore, Megan is only a quarter black. And in America, you have the one drop rule. Anybody who has any part of African heritage, even if it's just one drop of blood, can call themselves African in heritage. That's the rule. Okay, moving on. Next up, I want to go back just a tad to the book that Harry is writing, as the man he has become. And we remember in the Me You Can't See, where he talked about his mother was chased to her death because she was in a relationship with someone who wasn't white. Do you all remember that? And he basically insinuated that he needed security for Megan because people were trying to kill her. Well, another blind item came out that basically insinuates that Harry has interviewed Dodi Fayed's father. And he's going with the whole, it was a conspiracy thing theory, which we've already heard before, right? He ignores the fact that they were going over 100 miles an hour. He ignores the fact that nobody was wearing their seatbelts. Yeah. It's just become so obvious at this point that Harry's going to accuse Charles or his grandmother of somehow have something to do with Diana's death. Harry has been living off the memory of his dead mother now for years, okay? And Mr. Al Fayed has been blaming the royal family for the deaths of Dodi and Princess Diana since the night that they died. I would normally never think that Harry would get involved with all of this, but he has changed so much since he married Meghan that just nothing surprises me anymore. We've already talked about the fact in the past that Harry is paranoid, easily manipulated, and he's used to having the royal family cleaning up after him, and now the royal family's not there. I do believe what I read online. It takes a certain kind of mental health issue to claim that your family and country murdered your mother and then demand that those very same people provide you with security. These two are dog paddling in the deep end of the narcissistic swimming pool. I couldn't have said it better myself. So we know which way this book is going to go. And Neil Sean did a little blurb on his videos where, come to find out, Harry's been calling up Diana's brother and asking for information, and apparently he's refusing to cooperate. Good for him, because he knows this book isn't going to be honest. All right, I have a quick update for you on the whole security thing. Remember, Harry's going to sue because he wants security in the UK. It's being claimed that the only reason Harry is doing this now is because he's bringing 36 security personnel with him, and he has to house them and feed them, and it's going to cost a fortune. So he's basically trying to bully the UK into giving him something he's not entitled to, so it's not as expensive for him to film his Netflix series. I can believe that. That sounds somewhat plausible. It may not be true, but that's what's being said. All right, moving on. Finally, we're going to cover the last story of the day. We all know that Harry did the Vax Live when Meghan was pregnant, and then the two of them did the Vax Live concert in New York in Central Park. Harry's pushing for everybody to get vaccinated. He's pushing for vaccine equality, right? We've all heard it. Now, skip forward to Joe Rogan. Mr. Rogan has like the biggest podcast on Spotify at this time. And apparently he's been putting out misinformation about the COVID-19 immunization. He's been banned from Twitter for putting out this same immunization. He made a lot of claims saying that the vaccine doesn't really work and that the idea is that we have mass information psychosis, that's why people believe that the vaccine works. And he also claims that hospitals are financially incented to falsely diagnose COVID-19. I mean, it's just been outlandish what he's been saying online, right? So with that, here comes Neil Young. Neil Young wrote an open letter to Spotify and said, this guy is spreading misinformation and I'm going to take a stand, and you can either pull his material or pull mine. And Spotify, even though they know that he's spreading misinformation, said, fine, Neil Young, we're just going to pull your stuff. And they promptly did. So everybody's sitting around waiting for Harry to say something. He's the one pushing for vaccines. But just like with Netflix, when they came out with Diana the Musical and The Crown, both which portrayed his mother in a horrible light, and he said nothing, same thing with Spotify. He has kept his silence and said nothing. In my opinion, he doesn't stand by his principles. If he did, he would speak up and say, you're spreading misinformation on your podcast on Spotify. But he's not saying anything because it's not a question of standing up for his principles. It's a question of money. Just like with Netflix, it's all about the money. So that tells you he really doesn't believe in his cause, because if he really did, he'd say something. And good for Neil Young. He chose to fall on his sword, just like Piers Morgan did when he said that he didn't believe Harry and Meghan. He fell on his own sword, and he's come back stronger with a better contract, making even more money. The same thing will happen with Neil Young. I truly believe it. As usual, we have a ton of information. What do you all think about Cardi B winning her defamation case and now wanting to talk to Meghan? What do you all think about Harry interviewing Dodi's father, his 90-something-year-old father, who already believes in the conspiracy theory for his book? What do you guys think about Spotify pulling Neil Young's songs off of their streaming network and allowing somebody to spread misinformation about the vaccine, and Harry, who's pushing for the vaccine, having nothing to say about it? Leave those comments because I'm going to read them for sure. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future uploads. Don't forget you can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Getter. You can email me. For those who've donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.